Good afternoon. Thank you. Yes. Okay, so so we go through the text, the Lojong text, from the Great Collection. It's on chapter 19, mind training, taking joys and pain onto the path. Yeah, we really need that path. Taking joys and pain onto the path. So first start with the homage to the spiritual teachers. So as I mentioned yesterday, this is traditions of Nalanda masters and the great Tibetan masters. Whenever they compose, they do this, paying homage to clear obstacle to the composition, accumulate merit, and to bring most beneficial of the composition, and also to show the theme of the teaching, which is very much like the pit instruction. Then the text says, so this the practice manual, from this text, there's a you can relate this practice in the sutric way as well as the tantric way. So if you relate to the sutric way, then it's very much purifications of our three impure body, three impure bases: the body, speech, and mind. Through training in the true altruism and actualizing three resultant pure bodies of the Buddha's holy body and speech, Buddha's holy body, speech, and mind. But if you take this practice on the tantric level, then this is the practice of the three kayas, taking three basis experiences on the cycle of journey in this life, such as death, intermediate state, rebirth, and all experiences that come relation, during the process of whole lifetime, from birth to death, or very much the process of 2 lifetimes experience. Any experience related to the death, by purifying the death, then actualizing Dharmakaya. Every experience is related to the intermediate state, purifying that, then actualizing Sambhopakaya. Then every experience is in relation to birth, purifying the ordinary birth, then actualizing Buddha's Nirmanakaya, Buddha's 3 bodies. So, like that. So in the text it says, for this instruction on taking joys and pains onto the path, you should first generate the awakening mind. So in order to make it really cause of enlightenment, from this yoga or practice, the importance comes setting correct motivation of altruism, bodhicitta motivation. So it's talking about that. Then when experiencing joy, identify clearly what it is that experiences the joy. What it is that experiences the joy, whether it is your body or your mind. So, since your corporal body is like a corpse, it does not exist as the enjoyer of that happiness. Yet the mind is empty like the sky, and as such it is devoid of itself. So it's the enjoyer of that joy. Therefore, since that which conceive of joy is devoid of itself, recognize what is empty as empty. What is empty as empty. Or empty of the empty nature of the experience, the person or the body or the mind of the joy, and empty of the joy, and empty of that emptiness. Recognizing what is empty as empty. Recognizing what empty as empty. The experiencing person, or it is basis that aggregates, ultimate nature lies in the empty. So now, when you experience the joy, take that experience as an opportunity to discover the ultimate nature, which ultimate nature is empty, and through taking joy onto the meaning, taking joy onto the path, meaning discovering the empty of it is empty. What do you call empty as empty? What is empty as empty? Originally is empty. So now, when joy comes, instead of get distracted, rather use as a path tool to know that empty, which is originally empty. Then, when you discover what is empty as empty, that wisdom, that discovering wisdom as empty, then place your mind lucid, pure, relax, and settle for as long as you can in this expanse of emptiness. You see, so first you need to actualize the wisdom, realizing what empty as empty first. On what? On self, who believing that is the enjoyer of the joy. And including the possibility, enjoyer of the joy could be the physical body, the physical aggregates, or rest of the 5 aggregates, including mental aggregates. Both mind and body, finding empty or being as an enjoyer of that joy. Then not only that, even the joy also finding the joy itself also as empty, as it is origin as empty. So when you achieve this wisdom, and that is the object of your placement meditation or absorption meditation, then how to do that? Then place your mind lucid, pure, relaxed, settle, in the expense of that finding emptiness, in the expense of that emptiness, that knowing of the emptiness. In that expense, you settle your focus. So this is the method for attaining uncontrived, uncontaminated dharmakaya, the Buddha body of reality. So when you just read this, just follow like that. It's a perfect meditation guide. To purify our ordinary being, purify our ordinary base, the aggregates, the samsaric aggregates. It's a true purification. this is the best way to purify the impure existence, impurities. You see, the purifying in emptiness is a real, let's say, is the most effective way to dissolve or bring all the impurity into nothingness, completely losing. And if you do that, it literally happen in reality, because that is the real. Because the impure existence is a constructions of our impure mind. Our ignorant, which not knowing the absolute reality of absolute truth of ourself and our basis being. It's just simply construction of that. So when you deconstruct the conceptual hallucinated build up this impure samsaric person and the samsaric person dependent on that impure basis, like blood and pus, the body, etc. Then you're able to reach to a complete void. It's a legitimate void, not just imaginary or hallucinated void. Legitimate voidness of losing complete impurity. And there you achieve Dharmakaya. So the achieving Dharmakaya in one way, just like literally following this instruction is as simple as that. There's so little word, and not that hard to take onto meditation, isn't it? And even in this very stage, in our level of practice, as long as you do the meditation, you really come to a point that you're losing completely all your impure being. You're really able to reach. You really will be able to convince yourself, oh, actually, I do not exist the way I believe I should, or I was. Totally losing your identity. You see, you literally will able to bring to losing your entire identity. The worldly, the false identity. The false, this me, mine, all this will be loose, and from the void of that, you can construct anything, including Dharmakaya, including the most perfected being of the existence, which is the Buddha, the Dharmakaya. So, so you see, first you examine like what like Nagarjuna says in Precious Garden. The person is not earth, not water, not fire, not wind, not space, not consciousness, and not all of them. And other than that, there's no person. So you apply this. The body is not earth, not water, etc., etc. Other than that, there's no body. The mind is not earth, etc., etc. Other than that, there's no mind. The joy is not earth, water, etc., etc. Other than that, there's no joy. So there's no joyer and there's no joy. You see? So we just need to examine that way. You see? Then on top of that, so this such as the seven, the analytical techniques that sevenfold analysis of emptiness on carrot. Did I say correctly? Not the rabbit carrot, horse carrot. What is carrot? Carrot. But it's as long as not the rabbit carrot. Carrot. Okay. So it's called the sevenfold analysis of emptiness on carrot. Carriage on analysis whether you see. So in the scripture is so I always have this difficult or carriage, whether the carriage is one with its part, whether the carriage is different from its part, whether the carriage possess its part, whether the carriage is the part dependent upon dependent upon its characteristic, whether the carrot is that which depend upon its part, and the carrot whether the carriage is a mere collections of its part, whether the carriage is it's merely its shape. So you apply that. Now instead of carriage, you can use carrot. You can use carrot. You go to the supermarket, get the carrot. I think it would be very nice. I must use that since I'm so familiar with carrot, not carriage. So that whether the I is one with its part means whether the I is one with the part of the aggregates. Whether the I is different from its part, it is aggregates, not like such five aggregates. Whether the I possess its part, whether the I possess its aggregates. Whether the I is the part dependent upon it is carrot or it is characteristics. So whether the I is the part dependent upon the I, whether the carriage is the part dependent upon carriage. We say I dependent upon I. Whether the I is that which dependent upon it is, is similar to earlier one. It's dependent upon its parts. It is aggregates. Whether the I is a mere collections of the aggregates. Whether the I is merely it is the shape, the whole thing. It seems like the whole thing. If you call me Tenzin Zopa, I'm here. He said, I don't see you. Said, here, me, here. He said, don't you see me? You would do that, isn't it? As if the whole shape is me. So you analyze like that. So then you take this similar technique to the joy. Whether the joy is one with it is feeling parts. The joy is expressed with the feeling, isn't it? Or whatever produce the joy, whatever is conditioning to experience the joy, whether the joy is part with that, whether the joy is one with that, or different from that, or possess it is part within the joy, or dependent upon the joy itself. And how to go about it, and the joy which is dependent upon upon singular parts, could be just like the person dependent upon just the heart or just the brain or just the kidney, etc. Then mere collections of all of those. The joy is collections of whatever is triggering, including the experiencer, is collection of that. In fact, it is also not. Or merely that feeling alone. Is there any substantial reality or substantial existence just merely in that feeling? Is there any joy that you can actualize as inherent or not? Cannot, isn't it? So these are the things that you can use. So then, so again, there are many philosophical texts, but if you read this short text, Nagarjuna's Precious Garland, there are a lot of examples that presented. A lot of the ways, to finding the ultimate reality. So there's one verse. Just as a person is not real due to being a composite of 6 constituents, so each of the constituents also is not real due to being a composition, or due to being a composite. The aggregates are not self, they are not in it. The aggregates are not self, they are not in it. It is not in them. Without them, it is not. It is not mixed with the aggregates like fire and fuel. Therefore, how could the self exist? Again, similar technique you apply to all the other phenomena, including this in this case is the joy. You can examine. Just as when a banana tree with all its parts is torn apart, there is nothing. So when a person having the 6 constituents is divided, it is the same. Therefore, the conqueror said, all phenomena are selfless. Since this is so, all constituents have been delineated as a selfless for you. You see, so now, since self is selfless, I is selfless, then anything relating to you, including the joy, should be selfless. You see, so can use that kind of analysis. But then otherwise, just hear this, but then you follow this text, line by line, and it really, not necessarily knowing every the steps line by line, but rather you know what it means, then really deliver the purpose of finding the absolute reality, recognizing what is empty as empty. You see, recognizing what is empty as empty. So without reaching there, we have no object to meditate. No object to meditate, no object to do absorption meditation on emptiness without having that wisdom. You see, you can do some analytical meditation, but absorption meditation, you need to have that wisdom. You need to actualize that wisdom, even it is not fully realized one, but through certain conviction, through your own finding, not the text, not the scripture saying to you, but yourself own discovery. Then that discovery, that experience, that wisdom, then only you're able to go into our absorption meditation. So after finding that wisdom, then what you need is you need to you don't have to put it almost like no efforts. If you put effort, if you force yourself, it doesn't work. So you need to have the mind that which is meditating on that meditation object need to be how to say, a very, very, very settled mind, very calm state of mind, which is subtle level of mind. Our grosser level of mind is not settled. not calm. Since not calm, not settled, it's like a muddy water. You once you stir, there's no lucidity. There's no purity. The quality of the mind meditating on the object don't have the characteristic of lucid, pure, lucid, pure, relax and settle. You cannot carry that quality. Then you cannot achieve the meditation purpose. You see, so therefore, like doing this breathing exercise, 9-round breathing exercise, and all the preliminary, calm abiding your mind, and including the actual calm abiding. You really want to kick off high realization, then the preparatory practice for the successful absorption, meditation, or emptiness is a shamatha. Like, have to have shamatha, otherwise you cannot kick off. But at least at the beginning, we need to calm our mind, and really go into a deeper level of meditative state, non-busy state of mind. That's why we need to go beyond analytical process. So, yeah. Lucid, pure, relax, etc. Then you can see through, from all direction, like in the glass, you pour water. So we have to train to see how to get to that. So there's a two major training that need to achieve. One is achieving the wisdom of knowing what is empty as empty. That's an important point. This is like figuring out the object of your meditation. Without that, how to meditate? No object. Then after that, you need to shape your meditative mind. You need to create the quality of mind until it becomes lucid and pure, complete, settled, peace. But very clear and cognizant. Lucid and pure is very much like clear and cognizing. It's very much meaning like that. Clear and cognizing. It's almost it is reaching to the subtle qualities of your mind. I would say quality of the mind, or qualities of your subtle mind. That's what I mean. Qualities of your subtle mind. Your subtle mind carries that quality. Now again, not all subtle mind carry that quality. So this mind, you need to create it. Like those anti-conceptual minds are subtle, but it carry all the hallucinational, disturbed mind. You see, so this meditative mind, you really need to design it. You need to develop it. You need to create it. The way to create that, as I mentioned before, through this very simple practice of calming your body and mind with breathing. Then after that, purifying three impartial attitude, which are the main disturbances that comes in your mind. Or then gradually, you start to use the calm abiding technique, the shamatha technique, preventing this, the two major obstacles, the distractions and laxities, then strengthening the mindfulness in introspection, strengthening the mindfulness in introspection. So this is the major work that you do along the shamatha training, isn't it? Then you come to a point that you really, both mind and body is enjoying certain level of plancy, certain level of relaxation, certain level of settledness, comfortableness. Is like kind of reach to the very peak, very, very, very sharp, but very concentrated. Very high volume, but concentrated, but not exploring, not export. You see, so meaning there's a sharpness, but at the same time, what's it? Clarity and knowing, both will be able to achieve. You see, then that quality mind, that quality mind, grab the object of your meditation, which is the emptiness, emptiness of all, or emptiness of the mind, or emptiness of self and all phenomena. Then from there, cannot put effort. Meaning cannot try to adjust much, just place there and try to remain as much as you can. You see, and repeat that again and again. You see, and that will lead us to, if not realize emptiness, if not, if the meritorious conditions are accomplished, then even Dharmakaya may be actualized. So up to this part is the from tantric practice is the Dharmakaya, the practice of the Dharmakaya. So then the text says, while in this state, this meditation absorption state, vividly conceive what you experience as a joy to be in essence your meditation deity. And respective of whatever your mind is distracted, seal yourself inseparability with your meditation deity. This is the method for training the enjoyment body, which is the means for taming the pure trainees. So this one, purifying the intermediate states. From the three kaya practice, actualizing the sambhopakaya. So, while in this meditative absorption, which as a feeling is completely the maximum degree of bliss and void and bliss. Is in the state of union of void and bliss. And from there, from that joy, from that void and from that joy, especially there will be intense joy because you actualize voidness. You are in a deep absorption of voidness that trigger to drive intense joy, intense bliss, and that joy. From that basis, the void and joy, from that basis, arise into meditation and deity. Like miraculously, how after father, mother's substance come together, then the way how baby develop is like really miraculous actualization, isn't it? It's really like a miraculous actualization. So where the joy experiencing, where the void you achieve is in your wisdom. When you want to when you want to define exactly the location, is in the heart chakra here. Where is it? It is happening in the indestructible drop, right in the center of your heart chakra. So from that, and that is in our conventional, in relative truth, that basis of the your being is the father mother's substance, and from there, from these two substance, you actualize entirety of your being. Similarly, now from there, you actualize entirety of your meditation day. So if it's Chenrezig, then miraculously, arise Chenrezig. You see, so vividly conceive what you experience as a joy to be in essence of your meditation deity. And that is the here you see you can arise as a self-generation, as a deity, or you can so now here the point is, if you have received the initiation, then you can arise as a self-generation deity. If you didn't receive the initiation, then you become oneness. Miraculously, that joy, that void, is the essence of the meditational deity, which is same essence of your being and same essence of your guru. So guru, deity, yourself, oneness in one essence. And irrespective of what, whether your mind is distracted, still yourself inseparable with your meditation deity. So whenever distraction mind will surely will occur, then you seal by labeling, in understanding that it is guru's. If it's a thought, then guru's thought. If it's feeling, it's a guru's feeling. Is everything is manifestations of the guru. Manifestations of the deity. So even if bad thoughts comes, you just simply interpret that this is in fact is the manifestations of the meditation deity, and that's how you seal the leakage of your meditation, like that. So this is the method of attaining the enjoyment body. Enjoyment body. So enjoyment body, the Dharmakaya, you see all the illustrations of the deity in the image is very much Buddha's emanation of enjoyment body. The Nirmana Kaya, the body which we're going to discuss later, is this guru form, the human, ordinary human form, guru form. The Dharmakaya is the wisdom only. Then after that is so now that one is the taking Sambhava intermediate status to the path onto Sambhava, achieving Sambhavakaya or purifying intermediate state. So now the third one is the Nirmanakaya, or taking birth into taking reality, or birth into Nirmanakaya practice. It says not divorce from this identity. So it's very much like flow from the same channeling. Not divorce from this identity. The wisdom, the void of substantial existence that you achieve. Then because of that, driving the joy, which is the union of wisdom and method, or great bliss and emptiness. That is the Dharmakaya. That eventually develop into a physical emanation, but not as a Nirmanakaya, but Sambhogakaya, which in the form of deity, or which in the essence of deity. On the basis of that knowledge and that achievement, then you lead to a then you lead to this third meditation. So not devoid from this identity, not devoid from you are not you are separated from the deity. Then you should dedicate what you perceive as a joy for the benefit of all sentient beings. So this is the whole reason of why Buddha emanated in physical form, why Buddha emanated as our guru in the ordinary form, is to share the Buddha's, share the blessing of the Dharmakaya and Sambhogakaya, or share the blessing of the Dharmakaya directly to you, isn't it? Otherwise, Dharmakaya cannot, we don't have the ability to directly communicate with Dharmakaya. Even with the Sambhogakaya, only Arya Bodhisattva, they can communicate directly. So we need someone so ordinary like us so that we can sit, face to face and discuss on the Dharma. So that is the Guru. And that is like the Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, who came in the form of, human being. That's why he able to lead human disciple by directly teaching. So, so similar way, whatever joy that comes, now you the joy that what you experience, now you dedicate, through the tools of dedication, through the frequency of dedication, you're able to directly deliver the benefit to sentient beings. And that is exactly the activities of Nirmanakaya. And recite the following 3 times. It says, when happy, I shall dedicate my virtues to all. May benefit and happiness prevail all over space in all sentient beings. So even you're able to recite that, you're able to say that to someone that, may you be happy. I dedicate whatever goodness I have is for you, directly you can say that, you can mention that. And more than that, if possible, you go and directly help to alleviate someone from suffering, inconvenience, So these are the activities of Nirmanakaya. This is the method for attaining the emanation body, which is the mean for taming the impure training. So it's even in that sense, whatever benefit that you do, everything become purest dharma, purest charity, purest service, purest practice. You see, so purest 6 paramitas practice on the basis of that. You see, so now with this tools of meditation, then after done this meditation, then now you go out and deliver food for those hunger. It become numberless times greater benefit than even the food is same amount, but the impact with carrying this influence to your practice, the benefit that receiver will receive and the benefit you will achieve as a merit is numberless times different, numberless times more. That this helps to purify all the impure in the substance, whatever you are giving. This will purify impure as a giver. If there's any stain of worldly concern, any stain of conceptual, the hallucinational, wrong views, wrong attitude, self-centered attitude, everything will help to purify. Then this will also purify the impure in the receiver, the receiver, when they receive as a absolute blessing, which caused their enlightenment. Not just to heal the hunger, but really heal from the karma and delusions. It become a very powerful antidote. You see, so like that. That's what it means, which is the mean for taming the impure trainings. Yeah, so this is three kayas. Now, if you experience pain, so now this is about joy. So now taking pain onto the path. Then the similar way, the first part is taking pain experience into Dharmakaya practice. Then second one is Sambhogakaya. Then third one is Nirmanakaya. So now if you experience pain, vividly identify what it is that experiences the suffering, whether it is your body or your mind. Since your corporal body is like a corpse, it does not exist as the subject of suffering. Yet the mind is empty like the sky. As such, it is devoid of itself. So it cannot be the subject of that suffering. Then affirm the emptiness of that which conceive of suffering to be devoid of itself. And while in this expanse of emptiness, place your mind, lucid, pure, relaxed, and settled for as long as you can. This is the method for taming the uncontrived, uncontaminated Dharmakaya. Similar way, like before. Then now the Sambhogakaya. While in this state, vividly contemplate what you conceive of as suffering to be in the essence your meditation deity. Irrespective of whether your mind is distracted, seal yourself inseparably with your meditative deity. This is the method for attaining the enjoyment body, which is the means for taming the pure trainings. So this is Sambhogakaya. Now Nirmanakaya. Not divorced from this identity, dedicate what you perceive as a suffering for the benefit of sentient being and recite the following 3 times. When suffering, I shall take on the pains of all beings. May the oceans of suffering become dry. You can recite like that. This is the method for attaining the emanation body, which is the means for taming the impure trainings. You see here, the earlier one, for the Sambhogakaya, it says, this is the method for attaining the enjoyment body, which is the mean for taming the pure trainings. But the later one, for the Nirmanakaya, it says, this is the method for attaining the emanation body, which is the mean for taming the impure trainings. So, so earlier one, you see, the differences is based on the carrying the contaminated aggregates. When you are in the state of the Dharmakaya, yes, if you didn't achieve the result in Dharmakaya, then still there's a others factor, like such as karma of the past will lead you to go through the samsaric intermediate state and then rebirth. But But the state of the clear light is as pure as Buddha. It's uncontaminated. And the state of the clear light is your being. There's nothing, the entire conceptual, contaminated conceptual minds are dissolved. Your contaminated aggregates are also dissolved, already discarded, like the physical aggregates of the past. When you go through the intermediate state, you only carry illusory body. You don't have this, tangible, the previous body. You are really in the state. In fact, it's absolute, pure state of conscious being. Whether you're going to enlighten or reborn in samsara is others factor, which is the karma, the conditioning, to actualize the result, in samsara. But otherwise, that illusory, the being, which is very much the subtle state of your continuum, is pure as Buddha, isn't it? That's why mean for training the pure training. So it's very much mean for training the subtle awareness. But when it comes to the Nirmanakaya, it's about training the person who is based on the contaminated aggregates. If one already able to achieve Buddha, either in clear light or in the intermediate state, well done. But otherwise, this training has to take on your ordinary person's body, ordinary person's being, you see. So that ordinary person is impure. So now in order to purify that impure trainee, to bring all actions like such as purifying other suffering, or taking, or say, dedicating all the joy to others, or including practice of charity, etc., is through this meditation is to purify the impure being. So because of that, these two different words. Then this then is the instruction for taking joy and suffering onto the path. The lineage of this is as follows. Tenzin Shakeshiri, Torpu Lozawa, Kinchin Lodakpa, Kinchin Dawa, Changchenpa, Rinchen Takpa, Shenyan, Sheche Sonam Rinchen, Shunu Gyalchok. Finish. So done. You just have to, when you get the text, then just read through it, and it is a meditation guide. The earlier text that we used yesterday and today's text is already, we don't need to add anything. We don't need to take anything. Just it's the absolute meditational guide. Just follow exactly like that, and do the practice. And this is how that these great Kadamba masters have achieved, their enlightenment. So like that. Thank you. Done. We have 1 more hours. We can stop here also. This will be a surprising thing from me. If you have any questions in relation to this or anything else, or if you want to share anything to me or to your friends here, welcome. Then otherwise we can stop.
Thank you so much.
When because like Rinpoche, for many years you follow Rinpoche's teaching. Before you go to the teaching, you are just kind of hungry for the teaching. like kind of never enough like that. But once the teaching is start, then it can be quite tough for many hours. And sometimes you suddenly finish early, you'll be so happy. So I think it works with anything, not just with the Java, isn't it? Sometimes, wow, it's finished so fast. Wow, so good. Okay.
Yes, Sheila, we have one question here in Zoom. Catherine, go ahead and unmute.
Okay.
Yes, first off, thank you so very much for your beautiful teachings. I'm almost embarrassed to ask my question because it really shows, how little I know in relation to everything here. And when I was reviewing yesterday and taking your notes, when I listen to you, it often comes together and makes such sense. And I go, oh, like that. And then when I go to do it myself, any of it, I go back to the notes and I have to go back to the notes and back to the notes. And I keep going back and forth. And so my question is, and it's disjointed when I do this, of course. And I accept that that's where I am because it is making sense, and that's the good news. So my question is there a way that you would recommend someone like myself can have all of this written down and I can listen to it or parts of it while I'm trying to practice, so the practice is smoother? That is my question.
Yeah. First of all the questions are precious, and all the questions can carry a very, very deep meaning, deep benefits, even though you may think it's very simple, and when you raise questions, so many other people benefits also. Some people, they want to ask, they feel shy to ask. Some people, they never thought of asking this question, but actually the answer is needed for this question. So I appreciate you raise this question. You raise any question. There's no stupid question at all. Then secondly, appreciate so much that you take very serious about the practice. You immediately try to put into practice and try to meditate. Try to use the manual, which itself is amazing progress. And mostly we take a lot of notes and then put in computer and put in the bookshelf, and we always stay separated from the notes. So you really great example that you have done like that. Then the thirdly, getting confused and feel like you fail to do accordingly or struggle, that itself is a realization. That itself is the realization that you are progressing on the practice. We will make mistakes. We will feel that feel or even literally not doing correctly, all the way up to 10 bhumis. And we as a beginner, definitely a lot of error, a lot of flaws, a lot of missing, pieces. But the effort counts. The diligence counts. Repetition, making habitual counts. That's exactly in the collections of the advice from the Kadama Master, Lama Atisha advice. Doesn't matter how many, how advanced practices that you are doing, whatever you try to do that. Start now and keep repeatedly. Then you will be naturally will be well trained, reach to a well perfected and that's how the enlightenment will deliver to you. Perfection will deliver to you. You see. So therefore, yes. Now, where is it? Yes. Then lastly, yes. All the teaching, when you listen, when you read, you need to either record or either memorize or either take note. Through a translation that which suits to you, that which make you understand so easily, so comfortably. So you have to do that. Here when we teach, or even when you read the text, it's one language, one voice, one style. But there are so many different mental faculties, different karma, especially more than mental faculty. There's so many different karma, and everyone need to do a translation. Everyone, when one person teaching, individually have to do a translation to yourself, that which you could understand, which it makes sense to you, make easy for you, like that. So when you read text, also similar. The text can be very complicated. Maybe some people have a talent of quick memorization. Some people have a talent of no memorization, but then critical thinking. Different, like that, like in Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga, we do the practice of achieving 7 wisdoms. If you have all those wisdoms, then whatever way it's easy. But otherwise, you need to know, in which kind of wisdom is your strength, and you take that advantage. You take advantage from that, and that is a similar way. What I mean, you need to translate according with what you can understand. Then after that, after a few repetition, then you don't need someone's blah blah blah. You don't need to look at the text. It's everything. Maybe just a few words. Maybe you don't have all the philosophical terms. Fine, but you know exactly what's happening. What all the guides is in you, like that. So you need to do up to that. You need to create your own structured guide to yourself. Did I answer your question? Maybe something like that?
Yes, very, very much so. Thank you so very much. Wonderful ideas.
Thank you.
Yeah, Geshe-la, thank you so much for all of your beautiful, beautiful teachings.
Thank you.
How and can we stay in touch, and how do we do that? For asking questions, or if I'm practicing your teachings and
with me?
Yes, you
okay.
personally.
Okay.
Yes, you, Geshe-la.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe email will be better. My email tzzopa@yahoo.com. So email is good, but sometime I already got a lot of emails. Sometime sometime miss out, sometime forget, sometime will be surprisingly immediately may reply. Sometimes it takes few years later until everything is all gone. So I cannot guarantee, when I can able to, but I try my best. So it's so email would be, I think best. For the teaching, or I see. But from there, I don't think if you send the email there, I may not able to response, because one of the students is Sabina, so she's voluntarily doing that, and I think maybe better send directly to my personal email. Yeah.
And are you in the United States after being here, or where are you going next, if I can ask?
So after this, I'll be going to San Francisco. My brother and family is there. And at the moment, my mother also with my brother. So I will spend few days. I don't know. There's a lot of changes are happening right very now. So there's a few things coming up. I may need to change my schedules. Tentatively, it's like that. And yeah, tentatively, I mean, we don't know what next moment is. We've been talking so much about that. But yeah, then from that, still the paths are not completely definite. There are quite a few directions that I may need to, yeah, I may decide within these few days. Yeah, thank you. Okay, then you go first. If you have question, you go first, then you come here. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, okay. After our brother, then we'll go to the Zoom.
On the breath exercise.
Yeah.
You go from here.
Thumb inside. Yeah, the ring finger. The ring finger place the nail. Yeah.
Then here.
Yeah.
And from here,
Go up.
oh, like this. Okay, I got it from there. Thank you.
So from the online.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you.
My question was about the Tonglen that we did yesterday. And if I remember right, the first time we breathed in, we were breathing in the blood and pus. And the last time we were doing the black smoke, but I can't remember what was in the middle.
Middle is scorpion.
Oh, scorpion, the
Yeah.
little animals. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Sure.
Amy, go ahead.
Hi, thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you.
My question is, I found this teaching because I found your teaching on approaching the Lamrim, which I thought was what I wanted to do or should do next. I'm pretty new. Then after hearing this today and yesterday, then mind training sounds obviously very important practice. So how does one choose how to practice, especially if I'm fairly, very early on?
So
Thank you.
thank you. So Lamrim is very much must study and must have us have complete picture of the whole stages of the path. Then, as far as concerned with the taking Lamrim into practice, is the lojong, the mind training. So in fact, mind training is not separated from Lamrim, and the Lamrim also not separated from lojong, the mind training. But as a someone from beginning, you want to, have some guidance, then Lamrim should be the structured guidance. But to translate Lamrim into a day-to-day practical practice is the lojong guidance or the mind training guidance. So like that.
So Lamrim is a little bit more analytical, where
Lamrim is more
Study?
Yes, is study and knowing. Very much like there are so many knowledge that which we are not familiar. Like such as even the preciousness of human being. There's so many, like all those freedoms, ledgers. We are not. If Lamrim don't illuminate us, we won't notice that. Then karma. If Lamrim don't illustrate detail about the karma, we won't understand how karma works. Then if the Lamrim don't illustrate, there's such existence, all these detailed characteristic of the entire samsara, entire 6 realms. We will never imagine there's such kind of existence out there other than be human being, and animals, and then similar goes to like the shamatha, like in lojong, is really meditational guide, or what you call the like food of thoughts, is like the guidance, like instruction, pit instruction for us to use in our day-to-day, how to take dharma, how to take lamrim or philosophy studies or whatever dharma study into actual practice, in actual engagement, in actual engagement, But then lamrim, so the lamrim, like all the stages of the path, like even bodhicitta, how to develop that, in lojong, it's also teach, but it's more meditation, immediately meditate on compassion, meditate on bodhicitta, take straightforward, training. But in Lamrim, it will give you a guidance, the process, what are the causes to eventually develop the bodhicitta. Then what bodhicitta mean, like all the definitions, Lamrim provide very much definition to all knowledge, all Buddha's teaching, definition. So knowing definition is very, very important. Like if you study philosophy, it's all about philosophy we call sinyi. Sinyi means definition. So learning definition of entire 84,000 teaching, most detailed way is to learn from philosophy. Then structured, concise, to learn that is from Lamrim. But the essence of to take on to practice, the instructional guide is the lojong for the philosophy, for the Lamrim, for the tantra. It's lojong is the one. So like that. So therefore, must study Lamrim, the whole Lamrim. And I usually encourage to study the great Lamrim. If you don't have time to study from a teacher, but at least read the great Lamrim. And once you start to read it, you may understand everything. If not, at least you will understand a lot. And whatever you don't understand, you just mark it. Then next time, when you get a teacher, then you can have a discussion, to certain points. But mainly when you study Lamrim is to memorize definitions. Those, Lamrim is very much like those technicalities, memorize them. You see, so then when you take the lojong's instruction, it's everything, all the puzzle fits so well. You see, so like that. So Lamrim, The one of the root texts of the Lojong is Bodhisattva Avatacharya by Shantideva. And I normally encourage these two texts, the Great Lamrim and the Bodhisattva Avatacharya. Is almost like the two wing for you. It's almost like the two leg or the two limbs, without which you cannot move like that. You have to move together. So when you go to bed, Lamrim and Lojong, at least Bodhisattva Avatacharya and Lamrim Chenmo is just next to you. When you go to coffee table, you have Great Lamrim and Bodhisattva Avatacharya. You go to TV room, also have like that. You go to dining room in the central, you also have that text. So almost everywhere is like kind of like must open. Otherwise the dust will occupy. So must open like that. So then of course you can go by one page, page by page, or just maybe you can have one disciplined time to go just word by word, page by page. But then there's a certain time, the moment you see the text, just open it. And you may just read one line. You're going to be like tasting the cream of the cake, cream of the pastry or something like that. I can't remember exactly. I still don't remember what the word is. Something to do with the pastry or the pastry, something like that. Filling of the pastry.
Pastry.
The word sounds similar. Pastry. Yeah, the essence, So what is the paste of the pastry? Paste of the pastry.
Or cream of the custard.
Paste of the pastry. I think this is the word that I wanted to remember yesterday. The paste of the pastry. The pace of the pastry. The pace. Not taste. Not the taste is everywhere. The pace of the pastry. Or anyway, whatever it is. That essence one. So anyway,
Thank you.
it's like you will taste like that. You will feel like that, like even you're unhappy, you just open. Oh, you don't need to go to what do you call the psychologist or pay so much money, but psychotherapy or this therapy, that therapy. You open Lamrim, you open Bodhisattva Avatacharya, Lojong text, or Lojong. Now the Lojong collection, the great collection, comes in one solid volume. And now especially you can put in iPad, so, and we go inseparable from iPad and phone, especially phone, we go inseparable. So you make, I'm sure you can do that, just the moment you open your phone, the first thing actually Lamrim or Lojong comes up or randomly, or open or just page by page. Very, very helpful. And also, if you have a recording, if you get a recording, or even can be video or recording, just play, in your house, if you are, especially if you're staying alone. Yeah. So you just play, you bring so much peace and happiness to you. You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed in how much comfort and peace it will bring. Just on Lamrim teaching by His Holiness Dalai Lama, or just on Lamrim teaching, Bodhisattva Avatacharya or Lojong teaching by His Holiness Dalai Lama loudly, you will make your day so happy. And you don't have to pay attention whenever you feel like you do so. Otherwise, just play it, like that. Okay, something like that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sure.
So I have two questions about the shamatha practice. The first is, I read in the commentary about trying to hold the eyes like a little bit open during the meditation. And I find when I do that that there's a lot of like distraction from like the twitching of the eyelids and also from what comes into the visual field. So I was wondering if there's like, if it's just a question of it relaxes over time or if there's something to do about that.
I believe this is more of symbolism, like, of course, but and also it works for majority of people, that meditation, 7 meditation of posture, even like eye, not too close, not too open. But mainly is a significant. Significant is when you meditate, try to overcome dull mind and try to overcome excited mind. So too open is excited, too close is dull, and that's normally happen to majority of people. But for some people, when you close your eye, actually your mind opens, become very clear. And when you open your eye widely, it becomes very fresh. But it's not distracted. You're still able to stay focused. So it's mainly it's a significant. To when you go through that, then okay, in my meditation, I have to avoid these two obstacles. You see, but otherwise, the quality of meditation based on the basis of the posture is depend on you. I think I shared some story. I don't know whether I shared here or not. In Tibet, there's one meditator. Know all the instructions and using all this meditation posture, like 7 version meditation posture, but he's not attaining any realization. So then he had some doubt about his techniques. So then he went to the senior meditator who have clairvoyance. So asked what's happening with me. So then he says, your posture is wrong. He said, I'm doing exactly the 7 Vairocana meditation posture. And he says, that doesn't work to you. Your chakras, your channels are lined in different way. He said, how? So he says, you should meditate like when the cow get rest, when the cow, after eating so much, then they rest, lie down. You should meditate like the cow lying down. Your chakras are, will be harmonious in that way. He said, how come? He said, your past life was cow. So there's a strong karmic influence even to your present, the body, the existent. The channels are all like settle, harmonious when you lie the cow. So then when he went back and he started to lie down like the cow and then meditate, and within a short period of time he actualized all these realizations. So this is just one example to how you have to check yourself. Like for me, when the younger time, especially when with your master, they won't let you meditate when you're lying down. You have to sit straight, straight like that, And I never really enjoyed, and I never really somehow, it's not so comfortable. So when I got some freedom from my teacher, so then especially, I prefer to never to share room with anybody, because I'm a very lazy person. I usually, when I go, you can give me the poorest room, the filthiest room, but single room for me. I cannot share room with anybody, Okay, today I broadcast here. So my meditation, my sadhana practice time is in the morning, the moment you wake up in the bed. For my I like to start. I feel beneficial for me is the start from very first moment when you wake up. And I find sometimes even going to toilet, bathroom, that already kind of like affecting, because it's activity, affecting, so you want like completeness to your sadhana, completeness to your practice, starting from the motivation. So usually, I spend after wake up, I spend 2, 3, 4 hours in the bed, and then only I brush. Then all the preliminary yogas are completely upside down. You see, all these offerings, the cleanings, everything, it doesn't work with me because everything comes after all my practice finish. I mean, all my commitments, it's done. But I still do it whenever I get opportunity. I will do. But so I find that's the for me it's the most calm, clear, and even physically is well rested period. And as a beginner like me, so easy to get distracted by activities, and I find that period is like less distraction with all the object of senses, and and of course also you try to do that too, if you are living like next door to somebody or living in the group, the nearby, or if you have certain activities. So before everybody's activities start, you try to done your job. So like that. So it depends. So for me, maybe I'm previous life I may be cow, not cow. I don't know what kind of animal is like that. Yeah. Okay.
Just one more. It also mentioned in the commentary that initially we're meditating on the flow of the breath in and out, but I think it said that's not the same as meditating on the sensation of the breath, that it was different, and I didn't quite understand that distinction.
So that is a preparatory practice, like even in Lamrim it mentioned, like you do like breathing exercise. So it's more like kind of preparing yourself for the actual meditation. Then after that, then whatever object meditation you want to do, you can carry on. Thank you. Okay, that's it. Sure. I see. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. So it's like this. May you satisfy with this material gift. May you satisfied now. May you satisfied with this material gift, and may it be a complete cause for you to enjoy the gift of Dharma when I turn the wheel of Dharma. So again, here, as long as you get the meaning, there's two part of the meaning. One is to benefit in immediate level. So that comes from material gift. But that material gift is also channeling to actualize the causes for ultimate gift, which is the gift of Dharma. Sure.
Geshe, I just wanted to know about the young little boy that you found as the reincarnation. How's he doing? Where is he?
Oh, it's a Punso Rinpoche. So he's around 20 now, 20 years old. So he's in Seraje Monastery in South India, and he's doing really, really supremely good in his study. He's always top in his class in philosophy study. Philosophy is when he was in a normal school, his best subject was math, and he did very well in the math exams also. National, that's one exam. Then when he went to Sarah, his best subject become philosophy, and he's using this math technique I heard that he don't really need to put that much effort. Like, oh, I mean, he's his previous life already done a lot of work, and sometimes you just blindly ask, well, so easily you grab the understanding how and say, oh, I use the mathematic technique to memorize, mathematic technique to grab the understanding of the technicality of the philosophy. Anyway, he's enjoying his life there. He's super happy. So I saw him just some time ago, and yeah, he's very, most importantly, he's very happy, healthy, and studying, which is the time for him to study and doing best in his study. And also he carried this spontaneous habit of his previous life that he liked to do retreat. So for the past 3-4 years, yeah, almost how many, 4 years maybe, he didn't go back. 4 or 5 years, I think, didn't go back to Nepal to meet his parents and also to go back to Kopan. And during the New Year holiday, so his first holiday, the first year, he wanted to dedicate the New Year holiday to conduct the Om Arapasana, Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga retreat. Then after that, the next year he said he wanted to conduct the Om Arapasana, the Manjushri retreat. Then after that, then following year, then he also say, oh, this time he want to stay back. He received Yamentaga initiation, and he did Yamentaga commitment retreat, and including with the fire puja. Then the following year, which is just last, you can say the last, when the pandemic, the accessibility opened, then he received Vajrayogin initiation. Then he wanted to complete the commitment retreat like that. And his previous life, he's a very fond of retreat, and whenever he received initiation, immediately he want to complete the commitment retreats, which minimum require, 100,000 of mantra recitation, at least, few weeks in the retreat, and concluding fire puja like that. So then there's one time, then he said he needed to do a memorization retreat for his. There's one time he was awarded as a called Rikshung, which is 16 best students select. So they need to perform debate competition. So the lamas, so he got opportunity like that. So then after that, they become like kind of the best students, and they will assign to do a lot of answering, debating. So he got some pressure. He says, oh, now I got more responsibility. I need to, do more work. So he went into memorization retreat, which is very, very good. Many do that, which is very, very good. So then this year I requested, I say, okay, I think it's been kept for quite a long time. It's good to go and see. And he went to Nepal, spent about a week to 10 days, see Rinpoche, see the family. And he still have holiday. Then he said he wanted to go to Dharamsala to receive the initiation. Then he went back to Sera. So he's doing very, very good. I'm really rejoicing, and yeah, he's rejoicing. What he's doing in such a tender age, and not by someone imposing on which is not good. It's coming from his side, And the only thing is, I request is, please play a bit, please have some holiday. And I find when it come to this position in this young ages, I feel so happy, isn't it? Otherwise, you have to study, you have to behave, we don't have to say that. I have to say the other way. So it's good. Thank you. Okay. I think it's okay. Huh?
Any questions on Zoom?
So then maybe we can stop. Sure, sure. So the practitioners here want to do the concluding mandala offering to all the teachings. So here you offer the mandala to all our gurus like Gyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche, like Phunzo Rinpoche, then Geshe Lash, Geshe Sherab, then Gyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche, and His Holiness Dalai Lama, all the lineage gurus, all the Kadamba masters, all the way up to all the Buddhas. Offer your body, spirit, and mind, offer entire existence, in a wish fulfilling jewel. So that way, we create the causes for us to receive the blessing, that to able to make Dharma as a path, and while training in the path, then able to overcome all the obstacles and gather all the conducive conditions. Then the path, without delaying, it will actualize the result, which is actualizing Dharmakaya. So yeah, like that. Thank you.
Previous page, Shella. Previous. Okay, there. Next page. Yeah. So then,
Mahamudaya So Dayata Om Mune Mahamudaya So we do short dedication since we have a few minutes. So we dedicate in bodhicitta, dedicate in emptiness, and also dedicate for the long life of our gurus, and dedicate for the peace and happiness of all sentient beings. So whatever merit we accumulated individually, collectively, throughout our Dharma discourse, throughout this month here, and as well as all the merit accumulated from the past, and all the merit you will accumulate in the future, all the merits of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and gurus, and sentient beings. May this collective merit be complete cause all the sentient beings, be free from oceans of samsaric suffering. It is causes karma and delusion, and actualize from temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness and enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause this pandemic and all the diseases, war, the conflicts, famine, and natural disasters, including individually whatever kind of obstacles, like could be health obstacle, financial obstacle, relationship obstacles, obstacle to any kind of projects, everything to dissolve completely into empty right here. By the force of this collective merit, and actualize all the conducive conditions to bring absolute peace, happiness, harmony, virtue, dharma, enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause anyone who pass away, especially in last 49 days, be free from suffering of death, suffering of intermediate state, suffering of rebirth, actualize high rebirth in Buddha's pure realm, and within that very lifetime, they actualize state of full enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause all the beneficial beings in the world, who are the reason and the cause and conditions for the peace and happiness of sentient beings, like such as His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Kyabja Lama Sopa Rinpoche, all your spiritual gurus. Always enjoy good health, long life, and fulfill all their aspirations accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause all the virtuous institutions, like all the monasteries, nunneries, then all the Dharma centers, like all the FPM Dharma centers, projects, then especially to the Nurbuling, and also from the participant, if you are, a student or committee member, directors and SPCs to those particular centers, then your center, you create the conditions to, receive this dedication of merit more effectively because of this conducive condition. So may this collective merit be complete cause to overcome all the inner outer secret obstacles and actualize all the conducive conditions to preserve the Dharma, the virtue, then compassion in action, all the resources, to extensive study, then also all the conducive conditions to actualize realization on the stages of the path, all the way up to full enlightenment without delay even a moment. May this collective merit be a complete cause that each and every one of us, whichever teachings that you have received, partially complete, or all different topics, the discourses that you have participated, all these teachings, not just become intellectual knowledge or just counting of completing, attending some teachings, but everything become path to your continuum. Everything become a path to liberation. Everything become a path to purify all the impurities. So the Dharma that we learn the Dharma that we did this discourse, definitely become pure Dharma because the teacher, also the listener, also the organizer, everyone carry correct motivation of Dharma, like altruism. Then the discourse that we did is Buddha's teaching. Then also the commentaries and explanations, and according with the authenticity of the Buddha's intention, according with those Buddha's scriptures, not just make up by one ordinary person. You see, so there's a validness of the Dharma there. So now we need a lot of merit to make that as a path to you, path to you. Otherwise, not much meaning. Then also, even after become path, but then path always occurring obstacle and cannot develop. So may this collective merit to overcome all the obstacles on the path. Then, but even overcome the obstacle, but then it takes a long journey to actualize enlightenment. Then still, there's an urgency because so many sentient beings, starting from our own mother, father, there's so many sentient beings are in samsara. So we quickly have to actualize state of full enlightenment. So may this path really bring result without delaying moment in Dharmakaya, so that you will have all the truths of the Buddha's quality to benefit sentient beings. Then the dedicator ourselves, the merit, the purpose we dedicate, understand here, everything lies in the nature of emptiness. So that way you seal the merit and all your effort throughout the time in bodhicitta, meaning you have already shared your virtues, your benefits to all sentient beings, not even leaving out one single sentient being. Within just 1 month period, within those few classes, you literally benefited, reach out to numberless sentient beings. Can you imagine? Unbelievable. Must rejoice. You see? Now, not only that, we seal in emptiness. That means that this merit, this dedication will never exhaust, never lost, until to the last being attaining Buddhahood. We will never lose. The best investment that you did, best is going to get the greatest yield. It will bring richness after richness, happiness after happiness, like that. So amazing. So much rejoice. Okay, so your heart filled with the rejoicement while I recite some of these, blessed words of the Buddhas and the Gurus to create, all this to auspiciousness. Okay. Chanju zemjo rinpoche maje banam jeju je jawa nyamba meba yang gone gondo bewa jo tonyi dawa rinpoche maje banam jeju je jawa nyamba meba yang gone gondo bewa jo nye dawa rinpoche maje banam jeju je jawa nyamba meba gone gondo bewa ra jo kari rawe ko we shingamde pendan dewa mali juwe ne chere sewa tenze jazo ye shabe sede badu tenjuro je tokso chanji jango jawe de zinjo bebe kozo dobo je chozon ko we leme duru ba dazo de je gondo shabden sho chozo lame goze rabden je namgar dile jojo je ba. So this is to all the other gurus, for their long life. Chozo lame goze rabden je namgar dile jojo je ba da losa debe dome sa then make an aspiration to never be separated from perfect mind and Guru ever lifetime until they achieve enlightenment. Jawa gundo yanda lama da tame chuje pela lonje sada lamje yonde rabdo ne doje chanju go ba nyu do show. Then we dedicate just like the Buddhist Sabbath Samanabhata, Buddhist Sabbath Cheresi, how they would dedicate the marriage. I too dedicate just like that. Jambe bawa jida jemba da gudo zambo de ya de je de da gonje juzo da lo jawa de da tam je rab do zo je be jawa tam je de ngo ga la judo ba da je je we zawa de gon sambo je rab do ngo wa ra ji. Then specifically yourself or your family members or friends or pets, if anyone is sick, physically, mentally, you specifically dedicate to overcome. And this collective merit channeled through you, because you have this special connection to these beings, then through the frequency of this dedication, the power of the Buddha's power of the interdependent rising, power of this prayer, they reach they reach the benefit to them. Semje neba jin yeba nyodo nela da joje dowe ne nema leba da do juwa me ba jo pama semje tamje dendan den joje me do tamje da do wa da ja jo sembo kana su jo ba de da kun je mo lam do gyo ji bedan zo wa mi go be. So then here, if you have any projects in your heart, or if any wishes in your heart, or any plan for Dharma retreats, maybe traveling for teaching, or some Dharma project that you may have, or there's certain projects, even it can be livelihood for your families, for yourself, to bring success. Bedan zowa mi gobe yeshe no ba samje semje rawa ko zobe samba jejin zobe da shi sho. Now again the seal with this powerful mantra, to really, whatever we make prayer, everything will actualize. Just matter of time, everything will be actual, nothing will be lost. Chomde de de jaba da jomba ya da ba zobe san na ma na zo we jaba la cha za lo je zama zama je bu do sang bo la cha zo lo da ya da on be de ao bu de ne zong du du za mu zo da ya da on be de ao bu de ne zong du du za mu je da ya da on be de ao bu de ne zong du du za mu je so chomde de jaba da jomba ya da ba zobe san je me je la be de we jaba la cha zo lo chomde de jaba da jomba ya da ba zobe san je Lo da mo la da je ra do de be ja bo la cha ze lo me jo ze je ja we je la da den de lo wa me be de ma da je la san da be de Namda mebe nega drobyo je tenpa je ten kamso jomba da tenpa nyewe shindo zawa ye tenze polo shindo da tenpa yore nebe trashi sho nyemonde ne tsendele nyeme koyan dele chi nye zeta do dele konjo somye trashi sho. Thank you. Done. Take care. Thank you.